thank Tim and Lindsay for the great job that they do, the work that they put together, not just for today in the summer, but all year long. At our table, we were fortunate. We think we have great leadership in our senior class, and there's 8 or 10 of those kids we could have brought up here today. Our 3 captains, I believe, are outstanding, have been a Logan lad from Harrison High School. The furthest part of this state that you could get on the other side of Cincinnati. They didn't do a real good job of picking a local kid. He started about 2 days ago to get here. But Logan does a great job for us, plays defensive end. He's a 5th-year player for us, coming off of an injury, and just does an outstanding job. Just on behalf of Muskingum, I'm excited to be up here and talk about our football program. And I'm fortunate to play for a guy named Larry Shank. Okay, and people know Larry probably laugh a little bit, but the times of an AD being a football coach kind of changed a little bit. To have a guy who's supporting you and has been in the trenches and understands what you do on a daily basis, that's pretty neat and pretty unique. The guy recruited me about 30 years ago to play for him at Capitol, so I've known him for a long time. Then our president, Ann Steele, I think, who's very supportive of our program and like to help us out a little bit. But just on behalf of Muskingum, I'm excited to be here. Tom Cadill, our sports information director, does an outstanding job. Represent WMCO, John Clevenger and Doug Nepper is here today. John Miller, the PA announcer and the voice of the Muskies, and Ron Miller from the Cambridge Jeffersonian. Ron's probably 30-plus years writing about the Muskies, and it's great to know every time you open a paper and you read an article about the positive things that he says about your program. Is pretty unique, I think, in today's time. So, our staff's changed a little bit. I've been fortunate in the 6 years, going into my 6th year as a head coach. Every year, the most I've had to replace is 1 person. This year, I had to replace 4 this summer. So we've been fortunate to be with the staff for a while. So we've had to make some changes. Our new staff, Stephen Harris, is going to coach our wide receivers. A young kid out of Virginia, played at Fairham College. Defensive line, Chris Mobley is going to coach our interior guys. Chris was a 3-year starter, linebacker at Indiana State, finished up at Kent State. KB Justice played for us in our program, helped coach our corners last year. We'll continue to do so with that also. And then Luke Summers, an outstanding offensive lineman at the University of Mount Union. We've hired to help or come in and coach our offensive line. So with 4 new guys, we're excited about that. Whether they can coach or not, we're going to find out. But I love their youth and enthusiasm for the game of football. So I guess we welcome change this year. Coach Boyd's our defense coordinator, has been with us now for 6 years, does an outstanding job, and Joe Montgomery's coached our defensive ends, so that kind of rounds up our group. We return a core of, I think, good players, 21 lettermen, 14 starters, 8 on the offensive side of the ball, 6 on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively up front, maybe is our strong point. Our right guard, Denny Ardman, we think is a very fine player, was an all-conference kid last year. Be a junior for us. Our left tackle, Randy Johnson, we think is a very, very fine player. Our center returns, Mike Gibbs, Joey Eller, and Sean Hannon with playing experience up there. So we have some guys at least lined up there and been good players for us. Tight end, Wes Radizak returns. Missed half our season last year to a knee injury, so he'll be back. He's trying to get me to move, but quarterback, I'm not sure there's a place for a 6'1", 245-pound quarterback, but he may be that guy. Matt Sitter, Bryson Stevens, also a tight end, could help us out a little bit. Our quarterback, Dalton Smith, chose to move to Florida and stay in Florida. So we got to look for a quarterback in camp. I feel like we got a couple, 2 or 3 young men that'll step up and do a good job for us. Okay, wide receivers, we got all conference. James Washington returning. We got a transfer, Marvin Morris, we think can help us out with a little bit of speed. Danny Snively, our punter. We're just going to be a little cautious with him. So from a year ago, we think we're going to be much improved on the offensive side of the ball, basically because we think it starts up front. Defensively, we lose 3 linebackers. One was a 4-year starter, and 2 of them are 3-year starters. One of them is the OAC linebacker of the year, and Alex Thomas. So we lose some talent there. The good thing is we think we have very good kids coming in behind them. So we're excited about that. If you talk to our defensive staff, they're probably a little more excited about this group of kids than any group that we've had. So we got some talent. We've got some kids play behind those guys for a while. We got a couple of transfer kids we think is going to help us out at the linebacker position. Defensively up front, we think is where we're the strongest. We returned 5 kids with several years of playing experience up there, starting with Logan Ladd, Stephen Stooksbury, Jake Analog, Jeremy Heck, and Avery Allender. We lose 2 safeties in the secondary, but return 4 kids back here with a great deal of experience. And Darrell Jones, Tristan Heath, Stephen Davis, and a backup quarterback we had last year. Jacquees, what was Jacquees' last name? Marion Dorsey. Got this big long name. That's why we give him a nickname also. In our kicking game, Danny Snively returns, was 3rd last year in the conference in punting, and Caleb Carpenter done our kicking games for the last 2 years, returns as a junior. So I think we're excited about our team. A little bit of it's always about, we talk about chemistry. You know, the great teams I've been around and part of, I've had that more than anything. And the group of guys that we have with this work ethic, we're excited about them. So we're looking for the year. We're looking forward to getting started here real soon. I want to wish all the schools and our players here today the best of luck. And again, thanks for Tim and Lindsley for putting this on.
Anytime.
All right, Coach. If I can get your name and the school that you're with, please.
Al Logan, Muskingum University.
Coach, let's get your thoughts about the upcoming season.
No, we're excited. You know, it's this time of the year. Like all the other hundreds of football schools starting up, you know, it's a great time. And you know, it's putting what you did all spring and all summer together and recruiting and bringing back a great upper class group of guys. So, you know, we're excited about this time of the year. I feel like we've got a great nucleus of kids coming into camp.
Talk about some of the key players that you're going to look to lead this team this year.
Well, offensively, you know, up front, Denny Arbin, our right guard, was an all-conference kid as a junior a year ago. Our left tackle, Andy Johnson, we think are good players. You know, wide receiver James Washington returns an all-WC player on the offensive side of the ball. So, you know, those guys will be looked at for leadership on offensively. And, you know, defensively, our up-front crews. Logan Ladd was here with us today. Stephen Stooksbury, Jake Analog. On the back end of it, in our corner position, Andrew Davis, and Tristan Heath, Darrell Jones. Those guys, good leaders, been in our program, and good players for us.
You're talking about some of the players on the defensive side. They've been pretty rough on opposing running backs and a hard defense to score on last year. Talk about your defense coming into this year.
I think our defensive staff does a great job of getting a lot of kids ready to play. You know, in the course of the game, you know, we're rotating a lot of guys in up front, and so you'll see a lot of guys rotating 3 or 4 plays in, 3 or 4 plays out. You know, we're trying to keep people fresh. I think they do a great job in passing downs and getting our best kids on there, and you know, so that's one of the reasons I think they've been successful. And we bring a lot of those kids back defensively up front. So, you know, we lose three good linebackers that have had a lot of years of experience playing it there, but we feel like we've got kids coming in behind them that are good players.
Tell us a little bit about Logan Ladd.
You know, he's a kid that's not going to say a whole lot, but he's a great example kid. You know, he works his tail off. Has been a good player for us. Been a 3-year starter, and does a lot of things. You know, he leads by examples, and he's a hard-nosed kid. Gets to the ball and very coachable, and you know, we're excited that he's one of our captains for this year.